Hello, good evening. My name is Diego Fernando Salinas Rosales, and today I'm going to explain a little bit about some main components of a lesson plan. The first component is the learning objective and also the learning goal. As a teacher, you had to take into consideration what is the main goal that you want to achieve for your students during the class, and it's important to take into consider as well what you want your students to be able to do with that information. The big difference between objective and goal is that a goal is the expectation or maybe the ambition that you had for your students, and the objective is the specific measure of the competencies of your students during the learning process. And the second component is the anticipatory set. You had to develop the anticipatory set before the direct instruction. Basically, is the way to describe what you're going to say or what you're going to present to your students before that you start with the development of your class. And the anticipatory set most of the time refers to an activity to focus in the student's attention, and most of the time provide a brief practice or a developed readiness for instruction that will follow. It's important to this practice should be related to some previous learning in order to the students get familiarized with the language and also with the previous learning or the previous information that the teacher already provide to them.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yvonne Alejandra Samayo Alvarado, and today I'm going to explain a little bit about the direct instruction. So this component determines how we will deliver information to our students. This includes activities that they will complete, examples we will give, and materials needed. The methods of direct instruction can vary. So we could include reading a book, displaying diagrams, showing real-life examples of the subject matter, using props, discussing relevant characteristics, watching a video, or other hands-on, and presentational steps directly related to our lesson plan's stated objective. Therefore, we need to think outside the box and try to discover fresh, new ways to engage our students' collective attention to the lesson concepts at hand. Also, we can see some benefits, and the direct instruction helps facilitate and encourage more communication in the classroom. Students have a better opportunity to discuss their ideas and feelings in a group. Therefore, they are able to get to know one another as well as their teachers. Finally, I'm going to explain the guided practice. In this step or this component, the students show what they know and demonstrate the skills and concepts they are learning with teacher support. During guided practice, the teacher empowers students to practice skills on their own for the first time, giving concrete, actionable feedback to everyone. Guided practice often entails an assignment or activity to be completed in class while the teacher assesses progress. Handouts, illustration, or drawings, experiments, and writing assignments lend themselves well to guide practice. The purpose of whatever we assign is for students to perform a task to demonstrate that they are beginning to grasp a concept. It is not a final assessment of whether learning goals are achieved. Well, also, we can see some activities, and as a teacher, we can implement guided practice in a variety of ways, shaking up participation structures and activities to keep students engaged. Some of the guided practice activities that we can implement are diagramming, completing graphic organizers, experimenting, and analyzing.
Hello everyone, my name is Ruth Abigail Rosales Juarez and I'm going to explain the fifth strategy that is closure. Closure is the stage that aims a lesson shows students progress and creates a lasting impression. Many teachers just play a game or let the students work on an activity until end, but it's neglect to give to the students closure on what they have learned. For teacher, closure is an opportunity to check for your understanding and inform sequence instructions and precise key information, tie up loss and correct misunderstanding. For students, closure is an opportunity to summarize, review, and demonstrate their understanding of major points, consolidate and internalize key information, link lesson ideas to a previously learned knowledge, and finally transfers ideas to new situation. All the information discussed in this moment is about what they have learned during the class teacher, and it's the time for the teacher to take a decision if it's necessary give a reteach or additional practice. With the next strategy that is independent practice is essentially asks to students work with little to no assistance. This part of a lesson plan ensures that the students have a chance to reinforce skills and synthesize their newly acquired knowledge by completing a task on series of tasks on their own and away from the teacher's direct guidance. During this part of the lesson, students may need some support from the teacher, but it's important to empower students to try to work through problems independently before providing assistance to point them in the right directions on the task at hand.
Hello, my name is Cesar Vladimir Rodriguez. I'm going to be talking about the seventh component of the lesson plan, which is required materials and equipment. This part is very important while delivering a lesson because while the teacher is creating the lesson plan, they need to identify what are the materials that they need to use in order to achieve all the objectives with the students. The materials that teachers can use are, for example, books, music, computer, use of any kind of softwares and other materials that will help to enhance the learning of the students. This part is very important because when the teacher gets into the class, he or she will have everything that is needed to deliver a good class.
Hello, my name is Oscar Ernesto Rodriguez Martinez, and I'm going to explain the last step of a lesson plan, that is, assessment and follow-up. The assessment and follow-up section of a lesson plan describe how you will measure whether students have met the lesson plan's learning. Lesson plan is not complete without the final step of assessment. This is where you assess the final outcome of a lesson and to what extent the learning objectives were achieved. This is also your chance to adjust the overall lesson plan to overcome any unexpected challenges that may have arisen, preparing for you for the next time you teach this lesson. So, most importantly, teachers need to ensure that the assessment activities is directly and explicitly tied to the state learning goals you develop in step 1 of a lesson plan. You specified what students would accomplish and how well they would have to be able to perform a task in order to consider the lesson satisfactorily accomplished, and follow up using the results of assessment. Once the students have completed the given assessment activity, you must take some time to reflect on the results. If the learning objectives weren't adequately achieved, you will need to revise the lesson in a different manner, revising the approach to the learning. And at the end, some examples of assessment is gonna be quizzes, tests, class discussions, hands-on experiment, worksheets, cooperative learning activities, and illustration or graphic organizers.